Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and bring them down to bite-sized pieces. So today we're going to take a look at the battle of the billionaires as Mark Cuban and Elon Musk get into words. And Mark pretty much just lays it out and says, look, we need to be using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's actually a lot better for the environment than what you were talking about. So we'll take a look at that on top of just how bad this retreat or this little dip was as far as in the grand scheme of things. And then we're going to take a look at just how early we are as far as like people getting into cryptocurrency. And then finally, we're going to finish up with just a little bit of talk about maximalism, because I think it's important that we get this out of the way now. And finally, we'll take a look at Vitalik Buterin burning 6.7 billion worth of Shiba Inu token and what that did to the price. So we'll go over all those things. There's a lot, but first let's take a look at what's going on in the market. So last night, just so you know, this is a different space. We were in Puerto Rico in the condo, and we're just here to meet with the lawyers and talk about the whole move over here. And I will be doing a video about how that all works. And I'll be getting together the lawyers, the real estate agents, the CPAs, business people, and then actually people who are with boots on the ground as far as a lifestyle here. So I will put that all together as soon as I get all the information and I can bring it to you in one nice, tidy, clean package. So I will get that done. But right now, today, this is what we got. So last night, quite a bit of a dip. We got here in Puerto Rico. I did a quick video and we were talking pretty much about Elon Musk and his tweet storm. It really wasn't a tweet storm, just one sentence, and it dropped the entire market, like just an amazing amount. I've never seen one word drop the market, but hey, it's crypto, and here we are. So right now we're at 2.11 trillion market cap, a little bit of a rebound from the 2.04 or whatever else it was. So I'm happy with that. And here's what we got with the prices. Still down, still green, or still a red day. What are you going to do? And it's a bummer because to me, I find this fascinating when we've got Mark Cuban, who before in the beginning wasn't a big fan of crypto and digital assets, and all of a sudden he's like, maybe Bitcoin. I was like, yeah, Ethereum could be a supercomputer, and then dogecoin, we're going to set that in our Mavericks gift shop for all our sweet merch. So I mean, hey, it's something. But Mark Cuban comes out and says, look, you need to accept Bitcoin because it actually helps the environment. And it's not just Mark spouting off going, I think this is what it is. He references two good studies, and it makes sense. And to me, this is good for the entire community, because it's not just about, getting things out there. It's about having a discussion. And it's tough to do that on Twitter. Trust me, I know. But when you come with facts, it's kind of hard to, go against those. So Mark Cuban, here's the message. He goes, we at Mavs.com will continue to accept Bitcoin, ETH, Doge, because we know that replacing gold as store of value will help the environment. And what he's actually referencing, it's an article by the New York Times. I'll link it in the description. Published back in 2005, shed light on the gold mining industry. And this included, and it wasn't just like, a little snippet off piece. They included tours of the gold mines in the American West, Latin America, Africa, and Europe. States some metal mines, including gold mines, have become the near equivalent of nuclear waste dumps. Did not know that. That must be tended in perpetuity. Hard rock mining generates more toxic waste than any other industry in the United States, according to the EPA. Agency estimated last year the cost of cleaning this up was $54 billion. So no idea it was that much of a carbon footprint, but here we are. But in all honesty, doesn't everything take energy? I mean, and people will talk about this, like, they're like, hey, look, I mean, Bitcoin takes a lot of energy, but so does running a bank. So does running this, so does running that. The question is how much you're using for renewables, and how much is it really actually needed? And the next article really breaks it all down. It was called Bitcoin Does Consume a Lot of Energy, but Here's Why It's Worth It. And I'm going to link that in the description. You should read this article. It is fantastic, by Dominic Frisby. And he just pretty much lays out why it all is. And he goes into the history as far as like Adam Back and why he said that these things need to have monetary value. And he even takes a look at like spam and all those things. It's really good. So I'll link it. You can check it out. But it just makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, it's good that Mark comes out, because usually you kind of only listen to your peers, unfortunately. I mean, I could go tell Elon Musk that he should, do this certain thing, but when a billionaire comes out, it kind of helps out a little bit. And then, just so you know, if you're new to crypto, welcome. just know that these dips are common, but this is a little more uncommon. And this decline that we just had, the reason why I say it's uncommon is because usually there's a lot of factors. And I talked about this in a tweet. I said, and I actually talked about this in the video yesterday. There's really 4 reasons why we saw a big dip. One of those was Elon Musk. The second one is that U.S. We owe our taxes today, so you're going to see a lot of people selling things to get into to pay their taxes. And when people say, but people already done that before, no. I have an affiliate with CryptoTrader.tax, and I can tell you that the biggest day that I had for all signups over the last 3 months was yesterday. So that's just me talking, and extrapolate that out to, you know, hundreds of other people that are probably affiliates with CryptoTrader, and you get my point. But the big thing here is that this decline that we just had from just April 14th to really today, it's a 35% drop from the Bitcoin high of 64.8 to Bitcoin low of 42. Are those numbers uncommon? No. And we can see them all the way throughout. I mean, look at December 2017 for a year, December 2018, it was down 84%. That's crazy. But it is what it is. And it's volatile. But if you believe in what's going to happen in the projects, it's not a big deal. You just go, well, it goes down. Last night, I took a look at my portfolio and I was down bigly. And everybody talks about how you got to buy the dip, you got to buy the dip. But even to me, it's still hard to go, I'm going to buy some more. But you just have to, let me rephrase that. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to listen to me. This is just financial opinion, not financial advice. But what I did, I bought a lot of stuff last night. And it's like, I've been doing this every time for these dips. Like the last one was, again, the same thing, Elon Musk tweet. It's just getting out there and doing the work. And when people come up to you later and be like, oh, you're so lucky because, you know, you got so much in this crypto and you were so, no, I wasn't lucky. I did my job. I put the work in, and these are the fruits of the labor. So just kind of remember that as time goes on. And then lastly, just as I want to point out that I think the reason why Tesla and Elon Musk are putting all this information as far as like we need to for renewables and have a carbon tax, it's because Tesla seeks entry in the U.S. fuel credit market. And I'm going to skip all this up to the very last part. Tesla would generate the most lucrative type of credits, known as D3s, which trade at a significant premium to the larger pool of additional ethanol credits. So just remember that there's a reason behind the reason. That's really it. That's really what I think is going on. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on to our next piece. And that is Mark Cuban. That is Mark Cuban again. And I thought this was interesting because Mark's like, Bitcoin eat Dogecoin. But then he asked the question on Twitter, like, who uses Cardano for anything? And in all honesty, no one was really using Dogecoin that much until you brought a use case for it, which is to Mavericks merchandise. And now I know people will say, but for charity and for other things, sure, that's true. I have nothing against Dogecoin. I don't really care. But when Mark here is like talking about like, what's the use case? Well, Mark, you gave it a use case. You accepted it for your merchandise. If you did the same thing for Cardano, the same thing. And then I thought it was a pretty good back and forth. And Charles Hoskinson, CEO of IOHK, he put out a nice little video and just explained to Mark what's so great about Cardano. And then Mark comes back, he goes, well, first Charles says, seriously, Mark, it was a friendly invite. So he invited him up to his ranch in Wyoming. He says, but if you want me to pitch ADA over Twitter, okay. We have 5 million students in Ethiopia, thousands of assets they show on Cardano, a nice DApp ecosystem brewing for a smart contract launch. And people are right, smart contracts are not available right now to Cardano, and it won't happen until August. So we're looking at 2.5 months. So yeah, you're right. No one's really building. I mean, they're building, but there's nothing really live. And a new VC model with Catalyst. And then Mark just says, that's great. I'm happy for your app in Ethiopia and thousands of assets included. Let's talk when the platform stops brewing and starts serving. Not saying you can't do well, just saying you aren't there yet, but you're in an ETH OG. Why no smart contracts to start? And hey, it's a good point. And then, of course, Charles can come back and go, like, we're very regimented. We're trying to for sustainability and adaptability, and actually so we can scale things and to make it actually function, because we just saw what happened with Ethereum and their crazy gas fees. He'll come back and it'll go from there. The big thing is you have the discussion. You don't call each other morons and idiots and just ridiculousness that we see on Twitter all day long. And I think it's good, and hopefully it'll all work out. And again, I think Cardano and Ethereum can do really great. I think Avalanche can do really great things, and Tezos and all the different smart contracts. There's room for more than one. That's all I'll say. And that leads me to my next point. Two things. First of all, maximalism. Let's kind of drop it, can we? Even I get caught up in that, even on Twitter. So I have to remember, and Raoul Pal said something very smart. He said, Bitcoin maxis are the problem for the space. When people are getting in, they listen to all these people, and it gets very negative. So just kind of be like, hey, it's okay. And I made this example like this on Twitter. I said, and the comment was, I'm bullish on Disney Plus. And then the Netflix army comes out and says, you're an idiot. Netflix is the best documentaries and more viewers. Prime Video army. Prime Video says, you're so dumb. We've got way more independent movies and we're built on Amazon, you idiot. And then me, I just says, hey, you could have all three. It's not entertainment advice. And the reason why I said this was a joke to just kind of say, like, who cares? You can have all three. Like, I own Cardano, Ethereum, and Avalanche, and a bunch of other different platforms. So who cares? So just kind of go, hey, if yours makes it, great. I think mine's going to do well, but hey, gentleman handshake, and then let's see who wins the race. And that's really shouldn't be it. I think if we can do more of that, I think we'd be a better place as far as like accepting new people as they come in. And speaking of that, there was this one from Samrid Mishra. He says, I'm glad to see how many people now, as compared to past cycles, know about crypto. And few talk about the use cases, not only on Twitter, but also in the real world. And before we wrap all this up, I just want to say this. So the whole thing about this is that in 2017, when everything just went to the moon, I remember everybody talking about Bitcoin and crypto, and everybody was talking about it. And as soon as there was a crash in 2018, nobody talked about it. And even my friends, would come to me like, hey, how's that working out for you, genius? And, didn't. Of course, it was tough to swallow your pride and go, yeah, I didn't really do too well. But I think it's going to come back. I'm a dollar cost average. Like, okay. And here we are. So the thing I want to talk to speak to is that I think when people talk about cryptocurrency and, and they talk about Bitcoin and whatnot, I think what the real message we should be is we should probably just kind of get away from the cryptocurrency part. And at least I'm going to try to do this. You can do whatever you want to. But an example of this is as we get new people in, they're still confused. So like we picked up my wife's friend yesterday from the airport here in Puerto Rico, and we're talking about cryptocurrency. She's like, yeah, I saw that on the news, and when they talk about it, and they're like, it's currency, but I don't understand because I have $1. So what's the point of having a currency online? It's the same thing. And I was like, yeah, absolutely right. And then, so to actually explain it, like if you really want to break it down like that, now you got to start to talk about the Federal Reserve and, that little nonsense quantitative easing. And then you have to talk about all the fractional reserve lending and how it's important to be unbanked. And it's very difficult to get in that conversation. To make it simple, like I just said, it's like all about stores of values, right? Gold, silver, paintings, like this one back here, I don't know who made this. But I mean, those can be store of values. It makes it a lot easier to explain store of values versus a cryptocurrency. And then we talk about digital assets. I go, it's like like anything that you can buy online that would be considered of value. So even think about like airline rewards points. That would be like a digital asset type of thing. And I guess in some way it would also be considered a currency. So I just think it's just a little bit easier to talk about instead of going it's a cryptocurrency, to say stores of values, digital assets, because we got so many people coming in. I just want to make it simple for everybody. Again, you can go as deep as you want to, but I think it's just easier for the day. And let's just finish off with two things before we get going. First of all, today's the last day to pay taxes. This is the last day you're going to hear me talking about taxes until next year. So if you're looking for some help, use cryptotrader.tax. Links in the description. Dan users get 20% off. And I just paid mine, and it sure did hurt. All I can really say. And then lastly, I just want to talk about Shiba Inu. This is mostly for my friend George, so we can, hey George, just because he's a big investor into these dog coins. Just so you know, Vitalik burned $6.7 billion worth of Shiba to reward generous hodlers. And this is what he said. He says, I've actually been impressed by how the dog token communities have treated the recent donations. And if you don't know, Vitalik he donated $1 billion worth of Shiba Inu, which was gifted to him from one of the founders. And he put that into India COVID-19 relief, which I thought was fantastic. They didn't want to do that, the founders and co-founders, but he did it. And look, there's people dying over there, so that's great. He says plenty of dog people have shown their generosity and their willingness to not just focus on their own profits, but also be interested in making the world as a whole better. I support all who are earnestly doing that. And because of that, because people weren't like, damning him to hell, he said, hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Let me just burn the rest of and he burned 6.7 billion worth. So that should do a little something for the price. Just so you know, Shiba Inu is ranked 22nd. And it was just listed on Binance, which really helped it to go up like to the moon. The last 24 hours, you saw it go from, I don't even know this number, 0.00001259, and it went up a lot. So I can tell you. So the last 24 hour went up 5%, 7 days, 900%, 30 days, wow, 2,000+%. So just so you know, if you're looking into those coins, that probably is a catalyst, especially as things bounce back, but just financial opinion. Okay, so that's it for today. Look, I know the audio is not fantastic. We're in the condo for the next 4 or 5 days. It's probably going to be like this. We'll probably meet up with Ryan and Alex and Weston and the crew today. Maybe a little Lucas if he gets time. Not today, sometime this week. I got stuff to do. And that's it for today. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. All that great stuff. See you on the next one.